Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success Media, an award-winning show for professional women and men. Since 2014, we have provided a voice for entrepreneurs in the areas of business, marketing, advertising, public speaking, lifestyle and wellness coaching, arts and entertainment, fashion designing, interior and exterior designing, and sports. Our guest experts provide the latest information in their field while creating an educational resource for our listeners and viewers. Join us each Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. Now, let's go to the studio, where our session is already in progress with your show host, Mrs. Diane Winbush.
Women Who Rock with Success complies with the rules and terms according to the Federal Communications Commission podcast guidelines. The views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own, and their appearance on our digital media platforms does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. All guests who embrace our media stations are experts who are licensed in their fields of occupation. All rights reserved.
And so good morning and welcome to Women Who Rock with Success Media. This is your host, Ms. Diane Winbush. Thank you for tuning in with us on this morning. For our first guest, we have a wonderful lineup today for you. So today we're going to be talking about at the 9 o'clock hour, Purpose Publishing. And so to be able to share her CEO and founding and her career in publishing, we welcome to the studio this morning CEO and founder Michelle Dines. So good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Diane. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So thankful that you were able to be with us on today on the broadcast. So glad that you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to start by just help us to learn a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you, and I guess what kind of got you into the publishing business. Where did this all start from? Was it something that you done when you were a child and you said, well, maybe I want to write some books, and then later on, let's see, I may want to do some publishing. So tell us a little bit about that, kind of how you got started in it.
Absolutely. So, you know what, Diane, it's funny because when I was young, I did write, and I was that kid who used to play school a lot when I was a kid. I would gather my friends in the summertime, and I would be like, you guys are going to be the students, and I'm going to be the teacher, right? And so that was what I did a lot. Now, I will tell you that over the course of my career, though, let me say this, I was the editor of my school newspaper, and when I went to college, I wrote for the Bearcat News, which was the publication at my university, and I wanted to be a world news writer. And now let me tell you that I was a kid in the 90s, and so when Operation Desert Storm was going on and I saw Dan Rather reporting on the news and really aspiring to be a world news writer, I was like, Dan, there's bombs blowing up behind you. I could see explosions and stuff. And so I said, you know what, maybe that isn't what I want to do. And so I kind of I ended up finishing my degree in publication, in mass communication, but I ended up doing marketing and sales in my career. And I've worked for Hallmark Cards and the publications like R.H. Donnelly, and I sold Yellow Page advertising. Long story short, I wrote a book in 2009, and I had self-published with an agency, and the process was good, but I was like, there's got to be a more excellent way. And so I just did my research and said, hey, I think I can help people do this. And, I launched in 2010 and have been doing it ever since. And we've published over 250 titles for other authors and have just done, we've been doing it relatively well. We just recently, we're in the process now. The ink hasn't dried yet on the contract, but Purpose Publishing is going to become bookstore, where we're really we're scaling up and we're about to move to the next level. So yes, it's always been in me, Diane, and it still is, and we're continuing on, so.
Okay, that's wonderful. That is so wonderful. So let's talk about the background of what you do. And so this is a team that's gathered by Christian professionals, and it's a consultorium. And so talk to us a little bit about that. And then, too, this will kind of, I guess, also inspire those who listen with our inspiration. We have a Christian women's platform as well, so this will be kind of like a two-prong for our business women as well as for our Christian professional women as well. So talk to us a little bit about that and why it was, I guess, so important for your team to be built in a Christian background.
Yeah, you know what, Diane, that's who I am. You know, my husband and I both have been in ministry for really the greater part of our lives. Now, longer, we've been in ministry. You know, we gave our lives to Christ at a very young age. Now, my husband grew up in church. I didn't. I gave my life to the Lord when I was a senior in high school. I had a teacher that just really took an interest in me, and so she would come and pick me up and take me to the 6 o'clock. The early morning service is what they called it then. We still call it early morning service now, but I would go to church with her at Palestine Missionary Baptist Church, and I gave my life to the Lord in high school and have been serving the Lord ever since. And so my husband and I now, he's an associate pastor at our church, and we just recently moved to Tampa, Florida, but we served in ministry under Apostle Keith and Lisa Wesley in Grandview, Missouri for the past 20 years before moving to Tampa. But now, and this literally just happened last Sunday at church. We had talked to our pastors because Brian and I led our marriage ministry back in Kansas City, back in Grandview. And so we shared that, and our new pastor just installed us as the marriage pastors at our new church here in Tampa. And so it's just a part of who we are. And so as part of our business, it's just, you know, I have a set of what I call content creators and Christian design ninjas that help authors and bring their messages to the masses. I mean, they help with the creative in terms of graphics and creating beautiful covers in order to help authors. Sometimes everybody doesn't do a great job, they feel like, in bringing their stories to life. And so they are great storytellers and helping people to, you know, really form the words. You know, I call them wordsmiths and content architects because they really help people be able to turn their words into brand assets so that they're able to really help the people that they want to help by sharing their stories and helping them create lives that they really want to be able to live and help others do the same with their words. And so that team, that consortium that we have, it's comprised of artists, storytellers, and ghostwriters. It's those who can do illustrations, those who lay out and format words on pages, those who do all of your licensing and legal, your copyrights, putting you in the Library of Congress and ensuring that you've got your barcodes and your ISBNs and your catalog numbers inside the Library of Congress. So we do everything really from stem to stern, but essentially we do as much or as little as you need help with in bringing your book to life. We have national bestsellers that are part of our work that we've helped them to get there. We've helped them to become devotions on the YouVersion Bible app. We've helped people to launch their courses on, in the digital space. We've helped people to get their courses on Groupon. All different types of things. If there are some of our authors have been featured on Fox and NBC and CBS and major networks. And so anything that they're wanting to do, if you really want to, see your books move and turn your books, we believe books are business. So if you want your book shouldn't be just a book. It is multifaceted. So live webinars, digital online courses, everything that your book is made up into multi-enterprise type of products and projects, and so that's what we help people to do. So I feel like I don't talk
wonderful.
Too much, Diane.
No, you are fine. You are doing wonderful. You're doing wonderful. So because it's very, very important, so individuals can be able to get a full grasp as to what types of services that you offer for your artists and for book publishers and what have you. We had we had a novelist that was on here last week, and so I always share with her every time she come out with a new series, she comes onto the show. And so I always talk to her about my two authors. One of them is passed on, and that was Mary Higgins Clark. Now, when she writes a book, she would draw you in through the first 2 or 3 sentences because that's what you want. I feel that an effective author has taken their time and to create the material that they need for their audience to be able to grasp them, on the first page. If I have to turn over to chapter 2, then I'm going to put the book down. The person haven't really just interested me. And so it depends, too, what type of categories that an individual. I'm a mystery lover, so I love mystery and suspense and things like that. And so, of course, the daughter is still living, Carol Clark. And so we were just talking about that last week. So that's going to be my next question. And when it comes to publishing, tell us a little bit about if someone comes to your services and say, hey, Purpose Publishing, we want you to be able to look over our book. What type of, other services that you offer, such as proofreading, making sure that copywriting is, secured and what have you, because people are very, very, we live in the 21st century. Do you believe that you have people that are stealing other people's work? And so people are looking for copywriters. They're looking for everything to protect their baby. What they, especially if a person has set up with sweat and tears all night, all day. And look, I'm going to say this, Michelle, look, this is so hilarious, and it's not hilarious, but it is hilarious in a way. But this was an old case that I saw on the television, and this lady, I think, because we all have some discrepancies when it comes to being meat and petite when it comes down to our writing and what have you. And so this guy was supposed to had went in to correct everything of the plaintiff's errors in her book, and I think he didn't do all of them. And so she picked it up somehow, and she did. She took him to the bank, and she won. And so that's the reason why it's very, very important for authors. Just don't turn in a transcript. Turn in something. You may have to pay some money and what have you. Nothing is for free. You can go to the coffee shop and get a donut for free. But when it comes to proofreading, copywriting, trademarks, and things like that, those types of services that cost money. So talk to us a little bit about that as to some of the other services that you may offer for the author so they can make sure that they are genuine, they're bolted down, and they don't have to worry about anything else but just take it straight to the shelf.
Yes. No, I'm glad you brought that up because we do provide a range of services that we put under what we call that editorial category, and we do have editors that are part of our wheelhouse, and that and editorial is important. You need to have that. Right. Hang on for me one second. So we do provide editorial services. Those editorial services include editing, copy editing, as well as developmental editing for those who might need a little bit of assistance in putting their projects together, getting their words together. We do believe in NDAs, which are non-disclosure agreements, so that confidentiality is still important so that you don't find your project out there where we've taken it and given it to somebody else. We don't do that. We like to protect an author's intellectual products. And so we make sure that we sign those NDA agreements so that your property belongs to you. And anything that you create is yours. And so we make sure that we cover you in that way. Also, in putting your project in, we make sure that we also proofreading. Proofreading is important. So if you want someone, hey, does this work look like it is ready? Is this something that people want to read? Because sometimes, and I think this is important for people as well, because sometimes what we like and what we think is great, sometimes the world's not looking necessarily just for what you want to write. A lot of times people will want to write things, hey, I just want, this is in my heart and I want to get it out. A lot of times it's worth it to spend some time doing a little bit of research on what are people looking for, what are people typing into the Google box, and asking Uncle Google for, so that you can actually craft a book that people have been spending time and searching for. If millions of people are searching for these particular keywords and things that they are looking for, create a book that is actually going to win coming out of the gate. And so what we actually spend time and have services to help people to even look for, hey, this is an idea that I have, and this is how you can craft and kind of do a little bit of research on, hey, with that idea you have, here is a way for you to actually, these are people that are actually looking for around your idea, but you can kind of tailor the message of the book that fits what people are actually looking for as well. So yes, we do provide those services. We like to protect people with what they are looking for, and we also like to make sure that you have what I call tight, right, and bright before you put your book out in the market. We don't want you to put it out there and it's not taken care of. We believe in errors and omissions insurance too, so we are covered and we are protected to make sure that we protect you.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Wonderfully stated. So we're going to get into a couple of your books that you have published, and one of them is what I'm really dying to hear about, and it's entitled, Have You Ever Seen a Cow with Tennis Shoes? Have you ever seen a cow with tennis shoes on?
That was my first book.
Okay, so and I think someone made a question. I know it's probably been about 10 years. Have you ever seen a purple cow? So when I see distinctive types of topics like that, I'm very, very interested to know, I guess, what the story plot is behind that. Not going into the full details because, of course, we want individuals to purchase the book itself. But kind of talk to us a little bit about that, about the story plot and the purpose of the reason why you entitled the book that subject.
Yeah, so of course you have to know me, and Michelle is a dreamer. I believe that you can do anything. I believe that anybody can. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And so, but I think that you have to, sometimes you have to see others, and you have to believe, and you have to believe big. And so that was the first project that I ever did, and I just wanted to, it just kind of came to my imagination, and I used to tell that story to my kids. Like I just used to, Moo Moo and Marmalade were the characters, they were the cows. I would share the story with my kids at night. I just kind of made it up, and they liked it. And so I asked my cousin, I said, Jonathan, do you think you can make me, because he used to draw, and I said, do you think you can make me some characters for this story that I used to tell the kids? Because they would want to hear it. My son was like 6 and my daughter was 4. And so they would like to hear it all the time. And I said, okay, and so I said, can you make me a Moo Moo Marmalade? And he did. He drew the pictures, and I took it to Kinko's. I said, okay. I had a girlfriend who worked at Kinko's at the time. And so I put the story together, put his pictures with it. And I had a mentor who said, I'm going to try to get this book published. And I would send it out to Scholastic and all that. At the time, I didn't realize Scholastic had their own artists. They had their own storytellers and all of that type of thing. So I got a lot of rejections. But my mentor said, Michelle, you could publish that book yourself. Lo and behold, he was right. I did. We brought it to life, and I had a book release. I had a couple of my friends that got in cow costumes. I had a friend of mine write a song, and we had face painting and all kind of stuff. I told the story, and it was a great time. And hey, it's been ever growing ever since, and I just haven't stopped. And so, yeah, but I believe, I have confidence that if you believe big enough, and if you think that cows can have tennis shoes on, they can. And Moo Moo and Marmalade wore them. They still got them on. We tie them up, and we share it with people, and we keep on rolling.
Absolutely. Because I was thinking that would be such a wonderful project for a book, for a book campaign. I always try to sometimes give my authors a little affirmation as well as the publishers. for a campaign dealing with the schools and what have you, that could be something, especially that would be a total excitement for children. Oh, I feel the Holy Spirit. But that would be a total excitement for the children, even in that area. And so I just brought it up. I said, well, Purple Cow got on shoes. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see where this is going here. So that's awesome. Okay, great. And so we want to talk about another one of the publishings that you have been successful in, and it's the 7 Keys of a Queen. Yes. And so we want to talk about that in the story plot about that. Yes.
All right. So the 7 Keys of a Queen book, that one was that project was all about. It was my biblical study of the Queen of Sheba, and so in that she was the first woman entrepreneur that I was introduced to in the Bible, and so that story, I just kind of did a little bit of a deep dive and all of that I could find out about Sheba. And so that was my study. And so I just kind of took up everything that I could, kind of find some of the principles that was in there. And so that book, it kind of talked about, it was wisdom. Like she was going to see King Solomon. She wanted to, she was hearing about this king and how wise he was and all of the things that he was doing and how his kingdom was being run and all the way that he treated his staff and his team and she just couldn't believe it. So she was taking this long trip and so all of the gifts and stuff that she was taking to him and these principles. And so I just kind of pinned down what I thought, all the things that I saw there. So that wisdom, the C factor is what I call it, the confidants, his comrades, and that he had, the principles that he kind of ruled his kingdom under, kind of that order, God's kingdom has order. The heart, her heart was all about, that the way that it was set up and everything, and then the way that he praised his team and everything, and then kind of just she gave, she was a giver, like everything that she took to give to him, all the camels and the horses and everything that it took to take all of the gifts and stuff that she was taking to him, and then the legacy that she left, like that she left to me and to all of us, like the story that's told of it. And then I left all the tools. So like when I did this book, and even when I did the release event for this book, I did a motivational at the time, because this was back in 2014. So I did a CD. So it was a motivational CD, and you could pop that CD in so that you could stay excited and fired up about getting into business. If you wanted to, it was kind of like, go ahead and jump in, ladies. It was releasing the entrepreneurial woman. And then it was also, the second CD was a business treasure chest. So it had all the templates that you would need for your business. So it had contract examples, it had proposal examples, it had templates for your contracts and invoices, letterheads, all the stuff that you can get on Canva right now was stuff that I had on these CDs. So this book was like really a toolkit. It was the book, and it was those 2 CDs to really get you motivated and then give you the equipment that you needed to get started. But it was a blessing. I love this book. This was Michelle personified. This is Michelle personified, because I want people to have resources when they're starting things. You need, so you're not starting empty-handed. Was the 7 Keys of the Queen.
Okay. Wow.
And now it's an e-course.
Oh, wow.
Now it's an e-course. Yes, ma'am.
That is so awesome. So with the last couple of questions, Michelle, thank you so much for your response on that. So with the last couple of questions, so what would be one of the goals that you would like to achieve? I know that on your site you have books, you have authors, You have where you offer ebooks. I think some of the authors offer ebooks on your site as well. So what is the next chapter that you would like to achieve as a short-term goal as a publisher? You know, in the Bible, you know, you have to hit the man that had the one talent, one had two. Well, one had one, and he was lazy with that one. Then you had the one had two, and another one had five. But the one that kept moving, it ended up gaining 11 talents from the Lord all together. And so, of course, you know, we have many diversity of types of gifts. We just have to awaken them and see where they lead us. And so talk to us a little bit about that very quickly as to where you would want to see yourself, because I try to help my guests to be able to think beyond the scope. You know, because if we're here, that don't mean we're going to stay here forever. We're going to be moving to other different types of levels, dimensions, type of, platforms and what have you. And so we'll still have this gift, but we'll still be able to minute into other gifts as well. So talk to us a little bit about that real quickly.
Yes. Okay. So I would tell you where I am going and where I am asking people to go with me is what I know now is I call myself the reimagined strategist. And so, you know, our world is kind of moving to this digital space. And so that's where I'm going next. And so I am inviting others to even go with me. And so you can find me now on michellegines.online. And I am opening up the Reimagine You, YOU University. And that Reimagine University is all about kind of it's kind of showing people the roadmap framework that they want for them, you know, and kind of helping people get to that next place that they want to go. And so if it's authors, you know, hey, where do you want to take your book? Do you want to, you know, build e-courses? Do you want to move to new spaces? You know, do you want your book? Is it a live event? Is it webinars? Is it showcases? Is it challenges? You know, what is it that you're wanting to do? And so now the things that I've been able to do, I am now showing people how to be able to do that for themselves and kind of taking them on that journey. So it's the Reimagine University, and you can find me at michellegines.online, and I'm sharing with people how to be able to do that.
Okay, great.
That's what I'm doing next.
Okay, perfect. So would you like to share any of your social media handles on Purpose Publishing so the audience can be able to look you up and find you there, or any websites that you would like to share? You can do that at this time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they can find me at purposepublishing.com, and it's just Purpose, P-U-R-P-O-S-E, Publishing, Publishing.com, or at that Michelle Gines, and it's Michelle, G as in George, INES .ONLINE. It's just michellegines.online. And you can go to either of those places and find me and connect. And it's Reimagine University on Instagram, or Reimagine University on Facebook, Purpose Publishing on Facebook, Purpose Publishing on Instagram. Either place, you can find me.
Okay, perfect. And also, listeners, be advised that you can also schedule a meeting with Michelle or one of her staff on her website as well, and then you can be able to do like a consultation with her, and then you can also go from there, because a lot of times individuals, they like to talk and perhaps maybe chat about what type of services that you, and sometimes people like to do it in private, and that's fine too, but I did want to share with the listeners that they could be able to, you know, connect with you and meet with you, whether it's digital, audio, or video. You all can be able to schedule a meeting with her as well. So I just love all of the options that she has for this 21st century that is moving so fast. So once again, Michelle, thank you so much for being our guest on today. And you all meet us right back here at 10 o'clock. We have the Real Housewives of Toronto that's going to be our guest at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. And so thank everyone for being on with us. And just meet us here at 10 o'clock. Thank you once again, Michelle, for being with us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Diane.